As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic, and Crystal. I haven't seen you in like 3 weeks.
It seems like a very, very long time. The month of April was an extremely busy time for me. It was like, wow. I can't even tell you what went on in April.
Well, you did all the taxes, right?
I had all the tax backup, which a client of mine, in the digital marketing, he called me the other day. He says, Crystal, can I get into the class? Because I want out of tax. I said, I feel you. After next year, I will not be doing the backup stuff. Oh, yeah. Nothing to do with that. I'm going to be making my money some other kind of way.
See,
it's way too time
I give you guys a lot of credit because that tax thing, we're going to have to figure out a different way as entrepreneurs how to get that tax thing going because it's a pain in the butt.
It really is. And with the tax changes, people have gotten all kinds of major surprises.
And every year they change those codes.
Yeah,
what's up with that?
Well, this was Trump. What he did really made some
messed up a lot of people.
There's people who have never paid taxes who had write-offs, but you can no longer write off your home.
Exactly.
So that's a big when you're a sole proprietor or even with a corporation, but you're the sole entity.
You need that.
You need your write-off.
Especially when you're using a part of your home as your office.
Right, exactly. So
that is
he knew
crazy.
what he was doing. If we don't get him out of there, everybody gonna need to have a new home. So you might need to be checking in Jamaica. Is there some land you need
That's
to buy?
what I've already been checking. I'm talking to my home girl over here.
Second home because it may not be here.
That is true.
Because right now he is controlling everything, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I read the report.
Yeah.
The man is guilty as sin.
Yeah.
There are black people that are in jail right now
for less than that.
They ain't done nothing. The lady that's in jail for using her father's address is going to get longer than his people.
I think they're giving her 10 years for that, right?
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
And that Lori McLaughlin, she got 100 days community service.
Oh, they already sentenced her? Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, so she didn't, all kinds of fraud went in with that. This young lady just used her father's address.
Man, you see, you got to, in this society, it's all about money, power, and privilege.
It is.
That's really what it is.
It is.
I mean, we don't have any power. We don't have any privilege. No matter how much money we have, we still don't have that.
Yeah. So we might have to find some other places to a second home.
Yeah.
You might want to inquire about a second home. So when we had Queen Vita on a couple weeks ago, she actually says that if your ancestry comes from Ghana, they are offering a citizenship.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so find out where you're from, guys. Unfortunately, I'm from Cameroon, so I got to find out if they offering Cameroon or Benin. That's where we're from.
Are they also offering reparation?
Well, that's on the ballot. That's on the ballot. But I think reparations should be in the form of stock because that gives you more control.
I think that's a good idea. But you know what's amazing? I was watching the television just the other day, right? And this group in Glendale, the Armenians, they're asking for reparations too.
Well, they got some.
Well, they have. According to them, they haven't. So I'm just very curious to see who's going to get reparations first.
Oh, you haven't seen that? You haven't seen that flyer that is on Facebook of all of the ethnicities that got reparations, including the slave plantation owner.
Reparations?
They already got there.
The only group I know who've gotten some kind of reparation is the Jews.
Oh, the Indians, the Japanese.
Indians got nothing. It's like,
they did.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, with the casinos.
But they got money too.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Including the plantation owners. They got $300 per slave.
Wow. Because see, with the United States government, they've made over 400 treaties with the Native Americans, and they never kept one. Not one of those.
Yeah, it's a let me show you all people that received their reparations.
Wow.
But us.
Now, for those of you who are just tuning in, this is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. This show is a platform where small businesses come together with contract providers and economic development developers. What we try to do is to help small businesses to become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready, so they can perform efficiently out in the community and can become successful.
Right. And so reparations would be part of that, since they don't give you any loans.
Right. Well, I can't wait. I mean, your idea sounds great. You know, $200,000 in stocks. I really like that.
From the companies that benefited from it. So
I like that.
That's New York Life. That's Wells Fargo. That's Chase Bank. That's it is like 26 entities that have become super wealthy, and they are who they are because they received on the backs of us. Right. So that needs to be taking place.
I think that would be a good idea. $200,000 being invested in stocks, and then it keeps accumulating.
Yeah, so they can take all those companies, because they're all public companies, and take that accumulation. Yeah. And everyone that's a descendant of a slave, then there you go.
So now they're going to come up with their trickery, because they're going to try to prove that we're not descendants from slaves, right?
I have proof.
They're going to have definitions.
The rest of y'all, but I got my proof.
They're going to have their. You know what's amazing? I was doing a certification for a small business, a Latina-owned business this week. And as you know, Latinos are the toughest group to certify, because they cannot prove that they're minorities. Because on their birth certificate, it doesn't say Latino, it doesn't say Hispanic, it doesn't say minority, it says white.
Well, yeah, because they've been absorbed into...
Right.
Yeah.
So it makes it difficult for them to prove.
Yeah.
So this client of mine, on her birth certificate, it didn't really say white. It didn't say anything. So now they're trying to tell her she's not minority. So, so she decided that she's going to use a 23andMe proof. They're going, we don't accept that. 23andMe. Isn't that the one where they tie into your DNA, your lineage, your ancestry?
Well, 23andMe is more for your health, for your history of.
But doesn't it tie into your?
It does, but more broader.
Yeah.
Ancestry is the one that ties. Yeah. Okay. The 23andMe, it was really created to find out what your health history is. That what you have a proclivity for. If you have ancestors that have died from heart disease or cancer or what have you, mental illness or some immune disease or whatever, that's really what that one's for. The Ancestry.com is more because it can tie it in, and you can lineage. Like I even know where the slaves that were on the plantation where my family was. I even know where the grave sites are.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I found the grave sites.
You're multiple steps ahead of me.
But in some cases, like it depends on where you were. In New Orleans, Louisiana, they're very, very proud of their whole thing because of the French and the Spanish. Right. So their Bibles are written. And also when you go to plantations, to visit plantations in Louisiana, they have all the slaves' names in a ledger. So, and even for my family, if you do your research and you do the genealogy, there's a booklet. So the family that owned my people, they have a Bible and they had their assets, which were us, listed by name.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. That's amazing.
And then now with the DNA, so the DNA from that side of the family, I tied it in with the two families. Mm-hmm. So now my pool of descendants are like over 24,000 people. Wow. And it all have segments of my DNA.
Wow. Well, you've gone much farther than me.
That's because when I go,
Yeah.
I got this whole thing. There's two things that I don't want to happen. When I go to the pearly gates, I don't want me to be pulled over to the side.
Oh, you belong to this group over
So
here.
we can have discussion.
Oh, maybe it's
we ain't
that
gonna have no
group.
discussion. I'm gonna just walk right on through the gate. And so if you need to be talking about reparations, here my papers.
Yeah, give me my check now. I want my check now.
Here my papers. Here my whole entire family. Here our papers. I can tell you who impregnated my great-grandmother.
See, in my case, it might be a little bit more difficult because
Actually,
I know that we're directly from the Maroon tribe in Jamaica, and those are indigenous people of Jamaica, but I don't know who they're connected to back in Africa. If it's a Nigerian, if it's the
you need to do yours.
I need to find that out.
So I did my African one as well.
Yeah, I need to
so that's
find
how
that
I
out.
know where my people. So my people are the village. We're from the Hausa people.
Yeah,
and they're really Nigerian, but they also resided in Cameroon and Benin, which is predominantly where our makeup is.
Who knows? We may be family.
Yeah, it could be. So you need to check it. You need to find out. I tell you, you need to find out. It's important.
It's important. I want that check. Give me my $200,000.
In fact, I think the census is supposed to have that question on it.
Really?
Yeah, the census is supposed that they're getting ready to gear up for it.
Question?
They're asking where you originally came from.
Really? So what if you don't know?
Your people
what if
are.
you don't know?
Well, I guess that'll be some areas of conversation. But they're asking that question.
Really?
And then the other thing, because remember, this whole thing that we're going through right now is the fact that you're European and colonizers, they're very concerned by 2040 they are going to be the minority, right? So they're looking at they can't get their women to have babies.
Yeah.
And if they do, they're not having more than one because they wait too late and they have to go through IVF and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So now they're looking to add more people. So the last thing I read recently was if there's a biracial child and the mother was white, then
they're going to count that child
is
as white?
going to be considered as white.
This is hilarious. Aren't they the ones who were telling us that we're two-fifths of a human being, and if you're what a drop of blood,
right now
they're reversing
They
it.
need people.
Next thing you know, they're going to be asking for reparations too.
I told you that there was a guy that this is in the certification world, right?
Yeah.
So he had his DNA done and found out, which actually everybody descends from Africa. So he found out that he had like 8th or 9th percent. So now he was going. So he now is suing because he considers himself a minority and he should be able to get his certification.
He wants his certification, he wants reparations, he wants all of that. But before, he wouldn't claim it at all.
No, but he claimed it because he figures there's money and that we're getting contracts.
Yeah.
And consequently, he's not getting contracts. So he went and got his done, found out that he had some black blood in him.
This is hilarious.
So it's in the federal courts right now.
You know, I haven't laughed today. This is my first time. You're making me really laugh.
Are they serious? They serious about their issues.
Their issues.
Why do you think they so crazy right now?
I know, man. I know that number is dwindling. So
that number is going to be gone because it just is what it is. You can't make people if you're not making babies.
That is true.
It's just impossible. True. That's what procreation is about: is to create your lineage.
Yes.
And certain ethnicities do protect their lineage.
Yeah,
when you look in the Middle East and the Arabs in the northern part of Africa and Indians, East Indians, that's why they want Asians. That's why they want you to marry within your own so that they can protect their race.
Yep, I hear that. Well,
it's crazy.
We're at 19 minutes after the hour, so you want us to go ahead and take a break, or do you want us to cover some other stuff?
Let me just 2 couple things that just in case we get moved on as we go on. So there's a couple of things happening in the next couple of days that's important. One is that the Los Angeles Urban League with Herb Wesson, they're naming rodeo is changing its name to Obama Boulevard.
All right.
And so there is a big,
it's about time.
there is a big celebration on May 4th. And it's going to start. I will get the information here.
Good. And the Urban League is hosting it?
Yep, they're hosting it.
That is great. That is great.
So it's going to be a big celebratory thing. And there's a flyer out there. Actually, I have a video as well. But so Obama Boulevard in Los Angeles. I think this is going on across the country. There are several Obama Boulevard dedications happening.
Yeah.
So this one is on May 4th. And our man, too bad we can't have him back. I actually would want to vote for Biden if he could bring Obama back as his VP. I'd be really quite happy with that. I like Kamala, but
he'll probably be his consultant, consulting in how to run the White House.
The name ceremony and street festival is going to be on May 4th. You have to register. There's an Eventbrite, and it's in conjunction with the president of the LA City Council, President Herb Wesson.
That's great.
And so it should be big. And I think Kevin Nash is going to be, Dominique DePrima is going to be there. You can register. It's for free. But come on out, guys. So it's going to be called Barack Obama Boulevard.
All right. What date is that again?
That is on May 4th.
May 4th. That's tomorrow.
That's on Monday.
It's tomorrow. May 4th. Yeah,
that's tomorrow. Okay. All right, so that's what's happening. Yeah, today is the 3rd, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Oh, I have tennis.
That's good.
I got to be in both places tomorrow. Let's see. And then today I just want to shout out to my business partner, Recycling Black Dollars. I went to a service, or Jackie B. I went to a service this morning, and her brother-in-law passed away, so we did a celebratory homegoing celebration.
My condolences.
Yeah, so that was, but it was great. They did a good job. It was more celebratory, and he worked for Southern Wine and Spirits, and so everybody turned out to give him a great homegoing.
Well, Jackie, my condolences to you and the family. Really, really, when I hear people passing, it puts a big lump in my heart because recently my mom just passed, so it's tough. It's a tough thing, and that's why it's amazing that our next guest is going to be coming on to let us know a little bit about that. Yeah, because we need to know more about how to manage those types of situations.
Well, a lot of things. We lost John Singleton this week.
Yes,
51-year-old male dying from a massive stroke.
51.
I mean, that's incredible.
He's much younger than me. Much younger than me.
So that's important. So there's a big push on what we need to do to protect ourselves, and men tend to ignore their health things.
Yeah,
and so
I'm guilty of that.
You're guilty. And then I have another friend. He actually was an actor as well. His name is Larry Jenkins. He used to be on White Shadows, which was a sitcom, and then he's a producer and director. He
passed too.
He had a massive heart attack, and I think he's around 62.
Oh my!
And that was just the other day that happened. And there was actually 4 or 5 different artists this week that I think Herb Albert? Who was it? Peeble Bryson.
Peeble died this week?
He had a heart attack.
Oh my Lord!
So we got work to do.
And it was a few weeks ago. It was James Ingram.
Yeah, James Ingrid. Wow. Yeah, they was like all at one time, all in the same time frame. And all of it, I think, was all heart and strokes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of it, which is things that you can manage because you just have to make sure you're taking care of yourself. So all of those, so that's important. Yeah, that we are doing that. Exercise is big. I pull myself out the bed every morning at 5 o'clock, and Miss Dawn just be working me out, but I know I'm not going to die of a heart attack. So with that and Zumba and tennis and bike riding, whatever it is,
I'm
I'm
getting the message loud and clear. I need to start doing some work.
Yeah, you got to start taking care of yourself. So we're going to talk about that later on in the show, the second half of the show. And while you're taking care of that, how to take care of yourself as a people and your people,
Yeah.
and then your assets, because that's important. When you look at all of those individuals, and then you look at the young man, Nipsey Hussle, who took care of his people. He's 33 years old, street warrior who didn't even finish high school. Here are all these other people with all this big money and all these legal representatives, and they go and die in state. And this young man made sure his family don't have to worry about anything.
Wow, that's amazing.
So he knew that his life could be in peril because of just the life that he lived. And so he made sure that he made enough money. And he has a song about that. I make sure my family's taken care of for the rest of their lives.
That is good.
So that's important. So
right. Now, for those of you who are listening, if you're just tuning in, this is the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Our phone number here is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. Give us a call if you want to join the discussion, you want to speak with any of our guests today. And we've got 3 excellent guests on the show today, so give us a call. You're listening to the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan. Take a break.
Small businesses spend more than $500 million each year combined trying to find missing or replace missing paperwork. Hey, small businesses, are you tired of losing out on business opportunities because your paperwork is not in order? And don't you hate having to register in multiple websites just to find a single procurement opportunity that may not even be worth your time? Well, worry no more. Small Biz Pro is the solution to your problems. Small Biz Pro is an all-in-one cloud-based business management, compliance, and procurement assistance software platform that keeps small businesses organized, contract-ready, bank loan-ready, with quick access to procurement opportunities, as well as market research data. Here are some of the features and benefits that you receive when you use Small Biz Pro to run your business daily. Superior record-keeping at your fingertips, back-office management and compliance, quick access to bids and procurement opportunities in government databases. It allows you to conduct easy market research and gather industry statistics. Government certification preparedness and compliance checklists. Easy HR and general operations management functionality. Bank loan readiness preparation and cash flow management. Certified payroll and labor compliance reporting. Business dictionary with defined business terms. A cloud-based business management platform that keeps small businesses organized and ready. Even nonprofits. Business documents securely stored in the cloud. Data fully encrypted and protected by triple firewall reinforcements. On-the-spot document retrieval for quick decision-making. Bank-level data security for compliance. Document expiration alerts and advanced notifications. It uses security restrictions to block out unauthorized users. And much more. Try it out today for only $5 for the first 30 days. What are you waiting for? Go to www.smallbizpro.net and register now, or your competitors will. Small Biz Pro, keeping small businesses organized, business ready, and contract ready. Subcontractors and small businesses are very good at performing their craft. But when it comes to managing their paperwork and efficiently running their business, not so much. That is why Buchanan & Associates, a multiple award-winning supplier diversity business management, technical support, coaching, and compliance firm is here to help you. Buchanan & Associates possesses core competencies in small business paperwork and government compliance, back office management and business support, business infrastructure and organizational development, light rail transportation program management, assisting small businesses in packaging and submitting their minority, woman-owned, and disadvantaged business enterprise certifications. We even match you up with contract opportunities. Buchanan & Associates has delivered more than 7,500 hours of training to subcontractors by preparing them to become business-ready, contract-ready, and bank loan-ready with the ability to quickly access key documents in seconds. Buchanan & Associates help subcontractors accurately prepare, manage, and submit certified payroll, contract compliance, and labor compliance reports to primes so that they can get paid on time without delays. If you need to meet your disadvantaged business or small business enterprise participation goals, Buchanan and Associates can help you. If you need a qualified and experienced firm to oversee your subcontractors so that you can successfully complete your projects, Buchanan and Associates can help you. We help all businesses organize and set up their company the right way so that they can formally pursue contracts. Buchanan and Associates has assisted subcontractors and primes secure more than $90 million in contract awards. What are you waiting for? Contact Buchanan and Associates today, the small business paramedic. Go to www.thebuchanangroup.net and begin saving now.
And welcome back to the Business Zone with Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan.
And you are tuned in to the Business Zone. And we guys, today we have these phenomenal women in phenomenal.
A full house of powerhouse women.
Right. This is the year of the woman, and we're doing some incredible things, both politically and business-wise. It's also we're moved into the Small Business Week. It was kicked off this week by the Business Expo that I attended. And so today we have a young lady she is doing some innovative, disruptive stuff that is purely a male-dominated industry.
And here on the Business Zone, we love to disrupt things.
Right. And so Miss Eddie Reynolds, actually your birth name is Edwina.
Yes.
But I'm sure Eddie works because. So driven by a fascination for cutting edge technology and a passion for providing exceptional customer service, Eddie Reynolds has spent nearly 20 years as a leading figure in the video security industry. As the founder and CEO of multiple established CCTV lighting companies, Reynolds is at the forefront of bringing innovative solutions to the surveillance market. Without light, there's no clear, effective video. Motivated by this fact, Reynolds founded
Illuminar
Inc. in 2009. It is the leading manufacturer and global supplier of infrared and white light illuminators, as well as license plate recognition products. So we want to welcome you.
Thank you.
And wow, I was very impressed when I read this a couple weeks ago when you were calling in, and I'm actually better to have you in the studio so everybody can see you. How'd you get in here?
You mean in the building or in there?
How'd you get into this industry?
Well, actually, it's one of those things of who you know, not what you know.
Yes.
When I was, back in the early 90s, I was going into a restaurant, and I had a friend that I had known since middle school coming out of a restaurant, and he just said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, at the time I was working for a company called African Pride. You heard of that company? So they had been purchased by Revlon, and I said, well, the company that I was working for just got purchased, and so I'm not doing anything. He said, well, how'd you like to get in commercial security? And I said, I don't want to be a guard, I don't want to be a guard. He goes, no, cameras and stuff. And I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. So I started out as what we call a systems integrator, like the people that come out from ADT and Brinks and stuff. And I did that for 6 years. And then in 2000, I got on the manufacturer side and worked for a company that made lenses. And then that company started bringing in lighting from overseas, and we were reselling it. Now, go to 2004, I met my future ex-husband, and he knew some guys who wanted a business partner in the U.S., and I partnered with them. 3 years later, that partnership fell apart, and I was distributing lighting for North and South America with them. Wow. 3 years later, that relationship fell apart, and I had to get some legal stuff involved. And the money that I got in the settlement, I started Illuminar to compete with them in 2009.
That's beautiful.
And now we're a global company.
That's beautiful.
Fantastic. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm just like intrigued. And that's interesting because I was having some conversation recently with Dr. George Frazier, and everyone's talking about having vertical businesses and owning that manufacturing piece and the distribution piece and the retail piece, so that you can you own the whole marketplace. I think that's one of the things that Nipsey Hussle did as well, talked about vertical businesses, and you went and did it.
Yes. Yes, that is correct. So you have to own, in order to make your business worth something, you need to own your product.
Right.
Yes.
Because when you OEM from someone, which is what happened with me in the other business I had, they can take it away from you at any moment.
They could do whatever they want.
Especially if you're making money.
Oh, yeah.
They get greedy and they want to take it.
Well, welcome to the Business Zone,
Thank
Eddie.
you.
And this is a phenomenal story. And if I don't know if you've watched the Business Zone before, but when we have stories like these, we tend to recycle them a lot.
Okay.
So that more and more people can hear about
happy
you.
to do it.
So as you know, this show is uploaded to YouTube directly. So after this, there'll be a video which you can have, and you can help to do your marketing with this. Now, on the Business Zone, one of the things that we do is to try to elevate small businesses. We take them to the next level. Now, I'm going to ask you a few questions about your business.
Sure.
In order to measure and see how we can help you.
Okay.
So you've been doing this for how long now as the president of this organization?
So Illuminar, I was founded in January of 2009.
Okay, 2009. So we're talking 9 years now?
10 years, going into 11 years.
So you started your business during the recession.
Yes,
I did.
yes.
Yes.
Which was a big risk.
Yes.
Because at that time, everyone is getting nervous.
That's
they don't
right.
want to put
the market,
any money.
The home market was
exactly.
falling. Yes, it was
Yes.
during the recession I started Illuminar, correct.
So here's what I would like to do. Are you woman-owned certified?
Not certified.
All right.
Trying.
So no small business, no disadvantage, none of that.
Not yet.
Okay, so that's that's another realm of business.
We need that.
There's $500 billion in contract awards out there in that space.
Yes.
So we'll be talking after this about how we can help you to get there.
That'd be great.
That video you were watching, that's what we were talking about.
All
you
right,
see what I
good.
mean?
Okay.
So what we'll like to do is to see how we can match you up, because your skills and expertise can really help a lot of city, county, state, and federal government.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
Yes,
so
I do.
We'll talk about that.
All right, I'm excited about that
actually,
then.
Gilbert, that's his specialty. So we both have our expertise in our business spaces, but that's what he does.
Great.
He gets businesses certified.
We need help with that.
And he has relationships and connections. And then once he does that, I'm also the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars. And we have a couple of sponsors that are always looking for women-owned businesses. So we're one of our sponsors is Semper, Southern California.
They are.
And so they
Edison.
So those two so you're doing something with
PG&E buys our products for their satellites.
Well, we need to get Edison buying it too.
Yes.
Yeah. And so and Sempra actually likes they only do invitation only business relationships. Okay. So once he gets you certified, then we just gonna send you right on over there.
Sure. Where's the champagne?
That's what I'm talking about.
The kind of businesses that they're looking for, especially with Edison.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple of businesses that they'd love to have that were certified that are minority based, and they're just not.
Well,
they're
all doing cameras because we play in the security market,
Yeah.
and so we make lighting to help those cameras to see. So
one of your major competitors is ADT, right?
No, that would be a customer.
Oh, they'll be a customer.
Yeah, they're a customer.
Oh, who would be some of your competitors?
A competitor is my old company, which I don't want to mention their name.
Okay.
I'm not going to give them
We'll put them in a corner over there.
Yeah, so it's
Who
kind
else?
of a niche.
Yes.
You wouldn't know. There's only 3 of us that play in the market for lighting for surveillance.
Wow, this is amazing. And you being in a non-traditional industry, this is phenomenal.
I am the only black-owned woman manufacturer for surveillance in the world.
This is exciting me so much.
So
much.
So you have warehouses all over.
So we have a third-party contract. So I develop the product with an engineer, and then we have a third-party contract manufacturer that makes our product in the UK. So for North and South America, we ship it out of Irvine.
Yes.
And for the rest of the world, it doesn't make sense for us to ship it over to the U.S., pay duties and customs, and then ship it back out. So we have the U.K. ship it directly to our customers.
That's just awesome.
This is amazing.
Now, this is not what your business plan was.
Yeah, exactly.
Initially, right?
No.
Exactly.
Psychology.
Yeah.
I wind up making lighting. I'm like, what happened? But when God gives you that open door, you just need to walk through it.
So you recognize that opportunity when it was presented. Because a lot of people will back off from something and just think that it's so big that is not even obtainable to most people. So,
but business owners, we have some kind of a little bit of craziness, right?
Yes,
yeah.
So that's why
we're
go and
risk
do it.
takers. That's what we are,
right.
risk takers.
So we don't get intimidated by challenges. We take them head on.
And the thing is, in entrepreneurship, sometimes we set out on a certain journey to accomplish a certain task. But then it happens that that's not the task that we're accomplishing.
That's right.
It's something else that we never even thought about.
Yeah.
And that's what brings in that money
That's
that we
right.
were really looking for.
That's right.
So this is just amazing because I'm sure
excited.
you were looking somewhere else when you started.
Yes.
And this just fell right in your lap.
Well, again, I had started with, some British business partners.
Yeah.
And comfortable with just North and South America.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
God said, well, why don't you have the whole world?
Oh, yeah.
I can
this
say,
is
and
great.
even that would have been, most people would not have recognized that. They would have like, nah, that's
Yeah,
again,
exactly.
That it seems so big and so
Oh, yeah.
far-fetched.
It's actually the attorney that helped us negotiate said, hey, you know what? Why don't you start a company to compete with them because you did such a good job? Because I didn't think about it. It was the attorney.
Wow, but you were able to receive it.
Oh, yeah. I was like, okay.
Okay.
Why not?
Now, a lot of our businesses, even when an opportunity is presented. So, was there did you have to have money up front, or is it just all kind of came together?
Well, when I initially started with the other business partners, I had a savings and I cashed that out completely.
Okay. Yeah.
When I started Illuminar, it was the settlement I got from the mediation.
Yeah,
mediation.
Yes, put it all in the business.
Wow, that's
We
phenomenal.
have
What
some
an
work
investment.
to do. We have
Okay,
some-
I'm ready.
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at Illuminar, and I don't see the R circled right next to your name.
I know.
So we need to talk about that too. We need
He's
to
going to
get.
have me correct.
That's what we do.
Well,
we make sure you're set up
That's
the
fine
right
because
way.
I need that.
Oh yeah, because
Because I'm out here hustling
in the
around
space
the world.
in the space that you're in,
Yes.
you gotta own everything.
I know.
Otherwise, people are just gonna come in and they're gonna try to own your stuff. Some guy may pop up and say, "Hey, this is our name. We've had this for 15 years. What proof do you have?"
Well, I have when we incorporated because we had to look
do
at
your
that.
search.
Yeah,
Right.
do the search.
Yeah.
Right. I know incorporation is good, but when it's not registered with the
yeah.
USPTO, that's a different
Yeah.
story. So we'll talk. We'll talk about how
So,
we'll
in
get
what
that
other
going.
countries? So, the UK.
So the
and-
product is manufactured in the UK. Again, we ship it, and we have applications all around the world. So we have city surveillance projects in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, in Macau, and we have technology partners. So because our product is lighting, every camera manufacturer on the market it is a partner with us because we're agnostic.
Yeah.
So my beautiful girlfriend over here,
Yeah.
Jennifer, my other sister that works in CCTV. She works for a camera manufacturer, and she
Yeah.
takes me out on appointments.
Yeah.
So sisters help each other.
Oh yeah, that's
You
how
know?
it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
That's
So
how it's supposed to be.
she's she's been really good.
And in the UK, CCTV is all over, and that's
Oh, yeah.
how
Because
they
they've
do
had a
all
lot
the-
of terrorist
Oh,
attacks,
yeah.
so they
Right.
have more surveillance cameras than any
Yeah,
country
more
in
than
the
any,
world.
yeah.
right,
exactly.
in Israel, and they
Yeah, Israel, they have a lot, but they have more guns. They have cameras.
Yeah.
But they are on the leading edge of technology
Oh,
in
yeah.
Israel. Yeah,
Okay.
they do.
This is great. I am so
I mean, it's
proud
just
of
such a
you.
unique business, and
It
not a
is.
business that most people again would have.
Well, I mean,
and you fell into it,
right. I wake up and go, how the heck did I get into selling lighting?
Yeah, I know.
but not just regular lighting.
Right, lighting for
that
cameras
pe-
and capture your license plates. Don't hold it against me if you get a ticket.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
Well, they're already using it at LAX. When you go to LAX and you park in those structures,
Yes.
they have those cameras right there on
Yes.
your license plate.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so
It helps the barrier gates go up
Oh,
and
yeah.
down, and make
Oh,
sure
yeah.
that you pay.
which is great. That's an excellent
That's
technology.
right, yeah.
That's amazing.
And I believe the UK, because when you watch TV and you're watching Detective and the MI5 or whatever,
MI5,
yes. or
they're
6.
always like, check the CCTV.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they've been on that advanced there.
And actually, the gentleman that helped us, helped Illuminar, he was a British guy because they, the Europe has been so forward and ahead of the
Yes,
U.S. as
yes.
far as green technology.
Yes.
So
yes.
we manufacture only LED-based lighting equipment.
This is amazing.
So what are the opportunities here in the United States? Are we moving into
Oh
that?
yeah, we're catching up with surveillance, and we do artificial intelligence, video analytics. So we want to, like when they had the Boston bomber for
Yeah.
the Boston Marathon,
Yeah.
they put in parameters. A gentleman with the backpack, and so you need proper lighting in order to see that. And so that's where technology really is
Have
is
you been
going.
talking to Vegas about this?
We talk to everybody.
Okay,
Yeah.
because here's what I'd like to do.
All right.
I'd like to make an introduction
Oh.
for you with MGM.
Ah.
Okay.
Yes.
They need this stuff.
Yes.
They need
They
it.
do.
You know, and the strange thing about this, I saw this before it actually happened in Vegas, because when I was walking on the strip, there was no barriers, and you got crowds of people walking on the sidewalk, and I'm going, what if a car just make a right turn? You know, these people could die just like that. And so said, so done.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. So now all of a sudden, after the fact, they're trying to do all of that and put all these different cameras in strategic places.
Well, and one of the things that's a little bit difficult, and like I said, my friend Jennifer here sees that there's a need for lighting. So, like for instance, we're here in a studio and we have proper lighting.
Yeah.
When you go to a photography studio, they have proper lighting.
Yeah.
Broadcast, they have proper lighting. But in security, they don't always preach lighting. They just say, "Oh, put the camera there," or
exactly.
they have lighting inside of the
Yeah.
cameras, but it doesn't
It's
look
not
good. So when you
sufficient.
see these, incidents happen on the
Right.
news, and they zoom in and say,
Right.
if you know this person, and
Yeah.
you're going,
you can
It's
barely.
so grainy,
Why
you don't
so
even know. You just see
grainy?
a shadow of the
Right.
person, not.
but
the
all they
actual-
do is put good lighting there, and,
Yeah.
and it alleviates that, because the reason why people want to have security cameras is because if something happens, they want to be able to prosecute them beyond a reasonable doubt.
Exactly.
If you
Right.
can't recognize that
Yeah.
person, then
What's
what's
the
the use
use?
of
Yeah.
having all those cameras?
Exactly. So it seems as if in your line of business, you also have to educate them
That's right.
to let them know
Yes.
that this is important.
He's really
This could-
smart.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
You've been following me, Gilbert. You're pretending you don't know me.
As a business coach, you look at these things,
Scared
you
of
look at little
Gilbert now.
angles.
I'm like, move it to the side.
Well, yeah, as a business coach, you kind of
Yes.
see a broader
That's
picture.
true. No,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very
So,
true. Very
how
true.
would a young person? I do a lot of teaching of entrepreneurial workshops and classes to young people getting in, just looking at the entry into small business, and we're finding it very necessary for especially our millennials and our Gen Ys and X's. A lot of time, when they go to school, there are no opportunities for them. They have big loans when they come out, but looking at new innovative type of businesses to get in. So, how would a young person? What would be a guideline or a path for them to get into your industry?
Well, it's a lot of who you know, not just what you know. The security industry is expanding, not just hardware, what I make, or Internet of Things. There's also cybersecurity. And a lot of, so I do mentoring and counseling at historically Black universities. That's my way of giving back.
Okay.
And teaching them to, go into your own business. Don't necessarily go and work for someone.
right,
So I
right.
teach that a lot. But just look up opportunities. Maybe start out in, online on LinkedIn. Because they're always listing that they need help in all kinds of industries.
right.
But with cybersecurity, they can start their own business, because these kids are really smart.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they can actually go and approach an ADT or Brinks, just find out who those security companies are and say, hey, this is what I can do for you.
Yes.
And do it on a contractual basis. They don't even have to go and be an employee.
Yeah, because they're so, most of them, the internet is the only thing that they know. And especially, young people that are doing, they know the ins and outs of security and everything.
They could tell us.
That's
I
true.
remember when I had a friend that worked for LA Unified, and they were bringing in the iPads, and so the iPads, they had security locks, so that they wouldn't go beyond where they wanted them in school, right?
Yeah.
Now the teachers had no clue how to use them, and then they were like, the kids have hacked into the system. Because that's what kids do.
Oh yeah. They want to test boundaries.
They're self-taught as programmers.
Right.
They're self-taught as system engineers.
Because that's all they know is the computer since they were little. Not like when I was growing up. I had it in 10th grade, and I was like, what is this? This machine.
Right, exactly. No, that's the only thing they know. They know nothing else. So they learn their ins and outs as young as elementary school.
1,
they
2,
know how to enter and how to use. You can take your cell phone, and a 2-year-old can work through all your apps and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
and then you're like, how do they know? I don't even know how my phone works. But I know when I'm teaching, usually I have a classroom where all these young faces, and they have no clue. And I'm like, okay, let's create a business out of the air. And so, but I do like to talk to them about different industries that they should look at. And they're really amazing. A couple years ago, I did a biz camp. It's called Biz Camp, and I do a 10-day. This year is a 15-day intensive where they start with nothing. They don't even. A lot of times they don't even have parents that are business owners. And it's like, okay, we're going to create a business. But a couple years ago, American Airlines was our sponsor. Oh, nice. And so they wanted the kids to create a business that American Airlines could actually become their client. And so we had some kids, and these were between the ages of 9 and 18. And so I had a couple 12-year-olds. One, his business idea was retractable rails, guardrails, so that when you were going to disembark the plane, everybody wasn't crowding into the aisleways at the one time, so that they could actually open up like 2 or 3 on either side, and then passengers could exit out more safely. So when we were at they got the opportunity to visit a 777, and so they were talking to one of the representatives, like, "Wow, that would be great, because that's an issue when people are disembarking from planes, and they can get injuries and all kinds of stuff." And he's like, and so this kid probably has flown twice in his life.
That's amazing.
But in that, he saw that.
Wow.
We basically, a business is about identifying a problem.
Yes. That's right.
And creating a solution,
That
right?
is correct.
So they came up with all kinds of ideas like that. So
amazing.
Yeah, I have a class coming up in June, and I'm going to put forth that. I'll do some research in that and see if I can get some interest in, and because that's all it needs. They just need an idea.
Yes, absolutely.
And then be able to build on that.
Well, Eddie, we'd really love to have you all 2 hours here on this program to tell us more about your business. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have that much time. So what I'd like to do before we wrap up is to just have you just look into the camera and tell the audience out there how to get a hold of you, why they should get a hold of you, and why doing business with you would be a good thing.
All right. Hello, my name's Eddie Reynolds. You can reach me at EDDIER at Illuminar, ILUMINARINC.com. Illuminar means to light in Spanish. And I'm called the lighting queen for the industry. And so if you have camera systems and want camera systems and license plate capture, I can help you specify lighting to have clear video.
And you are LinkedIn, for sure.
I'm on LinkedIn at Eddie Reynolds.
Okay. And so how often are you out here in Irvine?
Pretty much I'm my own boss, so anytime I want.
Okay. Well, I'm going to reach out to
here
you
all the time, so anytime you want me to come out here.
Okay, I'd love for you to come talk to our kids.
Oh, I would love to do that.
Yes.
Absolutely would love to, yes.
Because the kids, we go into session June 17th to the 30th.
Okay.
And then that's our first session, and then our second session is going to start on the 8th, I think, and we'll go through July.
Okay.
And so we love to have. I'll send you over the speaker link, and you can come in and talk.
I might have to do the early June.
Okay, I'll send you
do some world traveling during that time. Really heavy.
Okay.
Australia and London.
Sounds very good to me.
It was such a pleasure.
We would love to have you back on
BusinessZone. The pleasure was all mine, you guys. Really,
Definitely.
You guys are doing a great deal here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then he's going to reach out to you.
I know he is. Look, I see him looking at me, and he's going to put me in check, and I like it.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes presidents and CEOs need a little help.
Well, I mean, you're in business long enough that you have traction, and so you would be a contractor that these entities, especially at the airport and all of the stuff, we got construction going on in this city to 2040. The Olympics, when it comes, they need you.
We did the Commonwealth Games in Australia.
Oh,
yeah.
So I have a lot of.
Yes.
So you need to hurry up and get her set up.
Listen, I know I'll get a call later on today.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
we're going to get you set up.
Ready because the city is ready.
They're talking about 2020, 2024, 2028 here We need to get you involved in
Okay,
that. You've
perfect.
got to be a part of that.
And then the stadiums
Yes.
that are being built.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so
Yes.
your lighting should be the lighting Illuminar.
Got to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
So give her a call.
So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break right now so we can bring on our other guests. And you're on the Business Zone with
Crystal.
Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic, and our very special guest today,
Eddie Reynolds with Illuminar.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Take a break.
Small businesses spend more than $500 million each year combined trying to find missing or replace missing paperwork. Hey, small businesses, are you tired of losing out on business opportunities because your paperwork is not in order? And don't you hate having to register in multiple websites just to find a single procurement opportunity that may not even be worth your time? Well, worry no more. Small Biz Pro is the solution to your problems. Small Biz Pro is an all-in-one cloud-based business management, compliance, and procurement assistance software platform that keeps small businesses organized, contract-ready, bank loan-ready, with quick access to procurement opportunities, as well as market research data. Here are some of the features and benefits that you receive when you use Small Biz Pro to run your business daily. Superior record-keeping at your fingertips, back-office management and compliance, quick access to bids and procurement opportunities in government databases. It allows you to conduct easy market research and gather industry statistics. Government certification preparedness and compliance checklists. Easy HR and general operations management functionality. Bank loan readiness preparation and cash flow management. Certified payroll and labor compliance reporting. Business dictionary with defined business terms. A cloud-based business management platform that keeps small businesses organized and ready. Even nonprofits. Business documents securely stored in the cloud. Data fully encrypted and protected by triple firewall reinforcements. On-the-spot document retrieval for quick decision-making. Bank-level data security for compliance. Document expiration alerts and advanced notifications. It uses security restrictions to block out unauthorized users. And much more. Try it out today for only $5 for the first 30 days. What are you waiting for? Go to www.smallbizpro.net and register now, or your competitors will. Small Biz Pro, keeping small businesses organized, business ready, and contract ready. Subcontractors and small businesses are very good at performing their craft. But when it comes to managing their paperwork and efficiently running their business, not so much. That is why Buchanan & Associates, a multiple award-winning supplier diversity business management, technical support, coaching, and compliance firm is here to help you. Buchanan & Associates possesses core competencies in small business paperwork and government compliance, back office management and business support, business infrastructure and organizational development, light rail transportation program management, assisting small businesses in packaging and submitting their minority, woman-owned, and disadvantaged business enterprise certifications. We even match you up with contract opportunities. Buchanan & Associates has delivered more than 7,500 hours of training to subcontractors by preparing them to become business-ready, contract-ready, and bank loan-ready with the ability to quickly access key documents in seconds. Buchanan & Associates help subcontractors accurately prepare, manage, and submit certified payroll, contract compliance, and labor compliance reports to primes so that they can get paid on time without delays. If you need to meet your disadvantaged business or small business enterprise participation goals, Buchanan & Associates can help you. If you need a qualified and experienced firm to oversee your subcontractors so that you can successfully complete your projects, Buchanan & Associates can help you. We help all businesses organize and set up their company the right way so that they can formally pursue contracts. Buchanan & Associates has assisted subcontractors and primes secure more than $90 million in contract awards. What are you waiting for? Contact Buchanan & Associates today, the small business paramedic. Go to www.thebuchanangroup.net and begin saving now.
So we're back on the Business Zone with Crystal.
Crystal and
You're supposed to say and Gilbert.
and Gilbert.
And we're on the Business Zone. And today, Crystal, who do we have in the studio today?
Eddie was just such a treat because
Yes.
that's anytime there's a woman doing a business that's usually
Non-traditional
non-traditional and male gendered type industries, I just love that.
And who are my favorite customers, Crystal?
Women.
That's right. So that excited me
Right,
there.
yeah, and then so you guys can get some stuff going on. But this week, there's been so many things going on in the news about us as a people and taking care of our assets and taking care of ourselves, and there's been a lot of things going on with individuals who's transitioned and not having all of their ducks in a row. Mm-hmm. So when we speak as a people, business is fantastic, but what happens when we build our businesses and we're successful in our businesses, but we haven't taken care of home?
Right.
We've invested all our time and energy in building these incredible businesses, and then we don't have our insurances things in place. We don't have our trusts in place and our wills in place and things that's going to take care of our families when we're gone.
That's right.
And so that's been foremost on my mind, especially after Nipsey Hussle died, and here was a young man, and we talked about that on making sure a young kid took care of stuff.
That's right.
But I know as we have these conversations, so many of my friends are in the insurance industry, and it's a struggle to getting us to recognize how important that is. So today in the house, we have Miss Ingrid Ellis. Now, we've actually had Miss Ingrid Ellis on the show.
Before?
Yes. She actually was in our first couple of years.
No, this is my first time.
The first time? I thought you were here with your book.
I spank me. I got to come back. I got to come back.
Okay, because I thought I had you when you first wrote your book.
Nope, I did.
We tried.
We were working on it.
Okay, I don't know what happened. Wait a minute, I thought she was here.
I don't know what happened.
But okay, so in this other capacity, she's an author as well, and she wrote an amazing book. But we'll do that when we bring her back. Right. But this time, she's coming in to talk about. Let me read you her bio. She was born in Jamaica, Queens, New York, where she discovered her love for writing and animation. She later migrated to California with her family in the early 80s and became a graduate from Cal State University, Long Beach, with a bachelor's degree in social work. And upon completion of her graduate studies, she immediately became a short career with Family Department of Children and Services. But during her hiatus, she earned a role as regional vice president and moved her business. She began a career with Primera in 2010, and within 13 months, she earned the role as regional vice president and moved her business to New Jersey for 5 years. She was able to open doors of local churches, fire and police departments, school districts, and more, and she's determined to change the landscape of middle-class communities, one family at a time. She now maintains her Series 6, 63, 26. To date, she has more than $2 million in assets under management and carries licenses in 22 states and have more than 500 clients. And she resides in Los Angeles with her son, Noah, who is also here in the studio. She's an author of 2 books, published books, and excited about her future. I only know about one. What's the second one?
Yes, I have. It's a children's book called Dare to Dream Ambrosia. And then I have another book that next April, in Autism Awareness Month, I'm going to be releasing. It's called The World According to Noah, Conversations with My Autistic Son.
Oh, wow. That sounds like it should be a movie also.
Yeah. We're really excited about it. It contains a lot of his artwork and, just conversations that we've had over the last 10 years as he was developing his language.
Oh, welcome to the Business Zone.
Welcome. Well,
thank you.
Glad to have you finally.
Well, thank you.
So she's also a member of RBD.
Yes,
and
a lifetime member.
Lifetime member of Recycling Black Dollars. Yes. She is in our new resource guide, which has been published and out on the street.
It's on the streets already?
It's on the streets already. Really? We actually have the copy of, Nipsey Hussle on the front cover of our.
I gotta get my copy.
I know, I haven't seen you in a while, man. That was published in April. And so we're so happy to have you here. She comes to all the RBD meetings. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about what we need to do and what can we do, from my coaching practice, and why it's so important for our business owners to make sure that they're protected.
Well, I think, if you work so hard to create an opportunity for yourself, why not protect it? And one of the things that I've found to be like a huge problem is that every generation we have to start over. And that is a big problem for me because it's every generation, especially with Black and Brown communities and our Black and Brown communities, every generation we're having to start over. And so we can't really blame anybody else. We can't say it's their fault. We have to protect what we have.
So when we start over, we're starting over because someone passes, or
because someone passes and they didn't leave the proper documentation in place, a trust, a will. Yeah. They didn't protect their assets. They didn't protect the business. They didn't take the necessary steps in order to make sure that the business can carry on for generations. Yeah.
Now, I was speaking with someone recently, and maybe you can guide our audience on this. Whole life insurance. Is there an advantage to doing that?
No.
No?
No. What we do, and the reason Primera is in business is because of the crusade for life insurance. And as Crystal mentioned earlier in talking about New York Life and the other just companies, I'm not going to disparage any names, but just, companies that have been in the business of owning us. Yes. We were the property. Yeah. So that's pretty much the nature of what it is. So our company was founded to correct that wrong, to make sure that people were educated on how this stuff actually works so that you can make the right decisions for your families. And so that's the crusade. We get to go into homes and we get to share and educate people. Just take an educational approach to make sure people know how what they have works and make sure that they know the rules, because there are rules to everything.
Right.
So if we're going to play this game called, life and finance and things of that nature, you need to know the rules. And if you don't know the rules, unfortunately, there could be some big pitfalls for you and your family.
So what would you say would be the best approach for us in terms of insurance? Because they've got multiple different types of policies out there.
Sure.
So which one would you say would be most advantageous to us?
Well, every wealth expert will tell you that, buying term insurance, that's just kind of a basic, let's put it this way. All life insurance is term life insurance. All life insurance has term life insurance built inside of it. All of it. I don't care what they call it. All life insurance is term. It's just a matter of how you're educated on how your term is working. Okay? But all life insurance is term. And this is how I explain it to my clients. You have car insurance, right?
Yes.
Okay, so and how often do you have to renew your car insurance?
Every year.
Every year. So that's a 1-year term.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You have health insurance, right? How often do you have
Every year.
Every year. It's a 1-year term.
Yeah.
So life insurance is the same thing. It's based on a term.
Okay.
And
that term could be 1 year, 5 year, 15, 20, depends on how long.
Absolutely. Okay. So all life insurance is term. Now it's a matter of how, in the conversation in terms of what's built inside of that. But we the education that we provide our clients is making sure that you keep your car insurance separate from your savings account.
Yeah.
That just makes sense. Or your health insurance separate from your savings account. Right. Your life insurance separate from your savings account. Yeah. So to make sure that you know exactly how each account is working.
Yeah. Okay.
And if one is, let's say one had a family of 4, and they also had a business, what would be a recommendation for them when you're looking at analyzing what their insurance needs are or their protection needs are?
Well, each client is different, and so everybody's needs are different. So what we do when we sit down with a client is we create what's called a financial game plan for them.
Okay.
So there's no cookie cutter solution to anything that we do. We make sure that we diagnose what your problem is, and we figure out where you are, where you're trying to go, and then how we can help you get there. Yeah. So your needs may be different from this person's needs. You may not need life insurance because of the fact that you may have assets already prepared for your family. This other person may need the insurance because they don't have the assets. So it just depends on what those needs are. But for business owners, there's some things called like key man insurance and buy-sell agreements that are really necessary in order to make sure that if there's a passing of the key person, that the business can still go and function.
I would love for you to talk a little bit more about those two, because many of my clients that I work with, I've been promoting that.
Sure.
And they don't get it.
Yeah.
The only time they get to understand that it's important to have a document on key man insurance
Correct.
or buy-sell agreements is when they're doing their certifications. And Metro or the federal government say, I want this document. That's the only time they pay attention to that. So can you just speak to the audience and let them know the difference between the two and why each one is important?
Well, both of those are documents that are important if you have a business. Which camera am I looking at?
The one in the middle.
Both of those documents are important if you own a business. If you are a key person in the business, whether it be even a church or a business that you own, key man insurance is important to make sure that if you are a key person and you pass away, that they can replace you with that insurance that's in place. A buy-sell agreement is if you're in business with someone else, and that particular type of insurance will be able to not replace the person, but be able to the business won't go under because that person has passed away. Just like with Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
I'm sure just based on his music, like you said,
Right.
Crystal, he had things in place. He said he had $1 million on his flesh. He had, he talked about having a trust in place and things of that nature. So those things are really important if you're going to preserve the church, preserve the organization, preserve your business. You got to make sure that those things are in place and those key elements are in place to make sure that again, we don't have to keep starting over generation after generation.
So I was just speaking with someone recently, and she's trying to get me one of those policies. And the one that we were discussing was whole life. And the reason she's suggesting whole life is because I'm telling her, I want my money. I want to have access to it now or later on, my family could have access to it.
Right.
So she's saying, well, we could do a 15-year policy wherein at 15 year you will get this amount. But let's say something happened before or after that, then the family will get a lot more. So is that true, and how does that work?
Well, Gilbert, what I like to do is show you exactly how the machine is run.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't just, what I'm not in the business of is just selling a product just for the sake of selling a product.
Right.
I'm going to lift the hood up and show you what's going on underneath the hood so that you can make the best determination, the best decision based on what you see, how you see the engine run.
I like that.
And so that's the kind of conversation that I would have with a client and yourself. It's not to just, you need this because, but I want to show you how it works.
Right.
So that you can then make the best decision that's best for you and your family.
Right. That's a very good point. Now, for our audience that's listening, many of them are entrepreneurs.
Sure.
Many of them don't have insurance. Many of them don't even think it's important to have insurance. So can you at least articulate to our audience why insurance is critical to them and why they need to be thinking about it? Today and not tomorrow.
Right now. What's really sad is when I'm driving, and I'm sure you guys have seen this, when you're driving and you see people with posters, with a loved one's picture, and they're looking for donations to make sure that we bury the loved ones. Well, life insurance is not just burial. It's to protect the income. It's income protection. So literally, if you are an income provider, if you are bringing in income for your family, you have to make sure that the income sustains itself with or without you here. So the rule of life insurance is that you should have anywhere from 8 to 10 times your annual salary. Okay. So if you've got $40,000 that you're bringing in every single year, then you should have at least $400,000 of life insurance to protect and sustain that $40,000 for at least 10 years. Okay. That's why it's important. Having $10,000 and $20,000 policies is not enough if you're a breadwinner.
Right.
Okay, because when you leave here, that $10,000 or $20,000 will be just enough to put you in the ground.
Right.
Okay, and then after that, then the family is still going to have to struggle and figure out how it is that they're going to make ends meet. So what life insurance is income protection.
Right.
It protects that income when you pass away. So that is why it's important. It's essential that we have that in place. It's essential because I'm a single mom, and I had the wrong kind of insurance before I was educated properly on how it actually worked. And the life insurance policy that I had at that time was only $50,000. And so I thought to myself, I'm like, if I passed away, and it would just bother me. I'm thinking, if I pass away.
Yeah. Especially with a special needs
Absolutely.
child, you have to definitely take that in consideration.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because things happen.
Things happen. And I knew that I kept thinking, like, if I passed away, I would only have enough for them to bury me and to feed them for a year.
And see, the thing is, the way the system is set up, that's what happened to us all the time.
Absolutely.
Somebody comes in and sell us a policy that is not in our best interest,
Right.
but we don't know that
Exactly.
because we're not educated on
Exactly.
that. So we think, oh, that's a good idea, and we get it,
Sure.
where it's only 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000.
Exactly.
The other group, when they do this,
Right.
they're looking at millions. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then they get educated on this earlier when they're, teenagers.
Sure.
So that's the kind of thing I'd like for us to start understanding and learning as a
And
group.
I think it also starts earlier when all of us have obviously worked for someone at some point in corporate America. So they provided, if you had benefit packages, you had a small term policy. I worked for it in my early career was what you did, and then I kind of came out of it. But thinking that that's just enough,
Right.
and that then you go to another company and they give you more.
Yeah.
But even then, the amount that they're providing for you is not enough to take care of your family. And then and also the thing that we don't think about is our lives is fluid. So when we get married, there's new needs.
Absolutely.
If we start a business in that marriage, there's new needs. If we have children, there's new needs. And insurance is not necessarily just to bury you, right?
No,
Absolutely.
Right?
Right.
So you can actually use insurance to plan when you're going to buy your house, when you're going to send your child to school, all of those things, right?
No. That's not what life insurance is for.
Okay.
Life insurance is to protect the income only.
Only, okay.
Right. There's also a terminal illness need that it can meet as well. But if you want the other things that you were mentioning in terms of preparing for college and all those other things, you need to start an investment account.
Okay.
That's where that money comes from.
And so that could be those variable life policies, though, right? That they have investment, because now that's what I sold during the time that I did it when I was in the industry.
Yes, no.
Yes,
No. Life insurance is just for life insurance.
Okay.
There's a really good book by a gentleman by the name of Norman Dacey.
Okay.
It's called What's Wrong with Your Life Insurance?
Okay.
Okay. And it's a real educational book on how the whole industry works, the history of it, kind of some of the things we were talking about earlier. But it's really kind of just straightforward in terms of what life insurance really is for.
Okay.
If you want a college fund, you need to set up a college fund.
Okay.
If you want retirement, you need to set up a retirement account.
Okay.
If you want retirement supplement, a house fund, you set up those types of accounts.
Right.
And then you have your life insurance.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That
Well,
sounds
that's
good.
clarity.
Yeah,
that's
good.
clarity.
And see, these are things that we don't really know.
Right.
Having someone educating us
Sure.
on how it works.
Yes.
Because we've been taking what they've been giving us over
Right.
the years and say, oh, okay, I guess this is how it works.
Right.
So this is good to know.
But I think what one needs is a team of people that
Yes.
are working for your best interest, both for you being alive and for you to be able to take care of your family and your business in the event that you transition or you pass on.
Absolutely. You need a game plan.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not in the business of selling products. Yes, I'm in the business of making money. There's a product to be sold. But I'm not in the business just to come to your house, find out what you can pay, and sell you a product. I'm in the business of creating a game plan and educating the community so that they don't have these pitfalls that they fall through and make the mistakes that many people do make just because there's a lack of education.
Right.
Okay. And what is the youngest? Let's say a young person is just coming out of college, they get a job, and they're offered a life insurance policy. Usually, it's a term in policy. What age should they be sitting down with a representative like yourself to plan for their future?
20.
Okay.
18. As soon as they, because I think about this. When I'm in schools right now. I've been teaching the juniors and seniors at a variety of charter schools in the community, right? And I've been doing that for the last year and a half. And what happens is I'm teaching them, and I realize that they're not getting this information in schools. I didn't get it, okay? I didn't get this at the college I graduated from, unfortunately, right? So you were not even prepared for any of this conversation. So once you graduate from college, here you are into the real world. You're making a little bit of money, maybe, right? And you don't even know how this thing works. You don't know the rules. You don't know the rule of 72. You don't know how to, you don't know the rules of banking or any of it, And so I think that juniors, seniors, they need this because they're starting employment at those ages. Going to college, they need it. Coming out of college, you need it as soon as, because the sooner you start to work on your portfolio, at least with the education, the way compound interest works, it works in your favor the earlier you start. If you wait later in life, it's going to take you longer to get to where you need to be, and you're going to spend a lot more money doing it.
Right.
Okay.
See, that's a good description right there. Because many of us, we don't hear it or see it that way.
Right.
So we're thinking, we can wait until later. I'm not ready right now. I'll wait until later.
No, you can't wait.
The longer you wait, the more it costs you.
The more it's going to cost you, and it's going to be harder, because if you wait until, like, when I became a single parent, I just turned 40, I believe, right? So, I had to start over. So because I was at that age where, now I have to start over, the more I had to save. Had I done that 10 years prior, my saving trajectory would have been a lot less. But, having started when I did, it was a lot more, and I had to, so being an entrepreneur, I had to do something in terms of employment where I was in control of my income so I could speed that process up.
Have you ever thought of making videos to try to educate us on how that works?
Yeah, actually, I was just telling my son that I have a podcast. I saved the name already, but I want to do a podcast and just drive traffic in that way, and just try to get the ears of and the attention of people, because it's really important in terms of the education. Our workshops are free. When I do a workshop and I educate people, they're free. The financial game plans are free. There's that part is free. So to sit down with me and have a conversation to figure out how it all works, what the rules are, what's really in it for you, what's right for your family. Those conversations they don't cost you a dime. Right,
because a lot of people are visual.
Yes.
And, they're hearing this and it's going in here and it's coming out. But if they have a video, because the rule of marketing, right? You got to hear something at least 7 times, before you start paying attention to it.
Yes.
So with a video, they'll see the video and they'll go, I'm not interested. And see the video again, I'm still not interested. And it keeps playing and keeps playing. You get to the 7th, 8th, 9th time, you go, maybe I should pay attention to it.
And even what she was just saying, when you have children, and especially if there's special needs, but even if you have a business and you have a wife that doesn't work, she's been at home mom or what have you, and you made a great living. But if there's a partnership, then there's going to be some changes when you die, making sure that you reevaluate those policies, right? That they're going to take care of that individual, your loved ones, after you're gone.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that, all of a sudden they're not living in the poorhouse or with a relative, because, now things are different, because he's no longer making income coming in.
Absolutely.
And especially if they weren't a buy-sell agreement, the director, key man insurance, and all those things in place, then that can drastically change your loved one's life.
Well, that's how the company was founded. That's how Primera was founded. We, our founder, Art Williams, he, his father had a $10,000 whole life policy, and he was the breadwinner. His mom was a homemaker, and when he passed away, that they had that $10,000. That's it. And so later on, when he discovered that he could have gotten $150,000 for the same cost, that drove the crusade for the company. You know what I mean? I just imagine how you would feel finding out that my family would not have had to struggle, if we had the proper kind of coverage,
See, with black and brown people, and I know we got to wrap up real soon, with black and brown people, the mindset is really why a lot of us don't even pay attention to that. So how do you think you can help to change the mindset so people can understand that what you're doing it for your family. Sure. You're doing it to help, because the other group, they see it differently.
I know.
We look at it like, oh, we don't need to do that. Why am I going to take out life insurance on my mother? That's brutal. Why am I doing that? And then your mom passes, and you go, "Oh my God, I got to do a funeral. I got to do this. You see what I'm saying?"
Yes, I do.
So then it's like after the fact, we're jumping around and talking about what we should do.
At that point.
Exactly.
You're crowdfunding the service, or standing on the street with a sign.
Right.
So
really
if you can just help to change the mindset, what is it you think you could do to help?
Well, what I do, and this is what I've been doing for the last 8.5 years, is I teach people how it works. Mm-hmm. It doesn't cost anything to have a conversation with a representative like me. I set an appointment, I come to your home, we have a conversation about what your specific needs are. And once I figure out what your needs are, I create a game plan. It's called a financial needs analysis, and we just create that game plan and plug all of your numbers into that game plan. Mm-hmm. And once we figure out what it is that you need, I figure out a budget, and then we move backward to make sure that all of your needs are met within that budget as much as possible.
I like that.
Okay? And it comes with the education. So the conversation is about 30 minutes. We sit down. I teach you how it works. You ask questions. You're welcome to ask all kinds of questions. You have access to me at all times. But I think it's just important with that education and that information, just making sure that that game plan is in place so you know. And when I leave your home, you'll know exactly what it is that is in place. You'll know how it works. You'll know when I deliver the policy to you, I'm going through page after page so that you know exactly what's in your life insurance policy. I'm not just delivering something to you and having you sign a receipt to send you on your way. Because most times people just take that thing and they put it in a drawer and that's it. I got my life insurance, right? But you got to make sure you know what's going on, what's inside of that thing. So like I said, lifting the hood so people actually know what's going on and how the car really runs.
Well, I like what you say about the education process, because that will attract more of us to it. Because the thing is, in the past, when an agent like yourself approaches, oh Lord, she's going to try to sell us some stuff right now. I don't really want it. You see what I mean? But if you approach it as an education process, then they're going, hey, I'm not committed. I can listen. It's an education process. Mm-hmm. And then after listening, they may go, maybe I need to do this.
And even when you're single, you don't really think of it like you would if you had a family. Yeah. But again, you're not here, but who's got to take care of you when you're not here, right? Exactly. You got to take it, it's just taking care of your assets, yourself as a people, and then your assets. Absolutely. And then not leaving a burden to your family to take care of you. Absolutely. And you know that they're already stretched to some limit, right? So I think it's very, very important. Yeah. As far as a podcast, you want to talk to POTUS when you leave out of here, because she has a class that she's getting ready to, I think it's next week or something, on how to have a podcast. Oh, wonderful. And then this is a wonderful format for it.
That's awesome.
She can help you produce the show, or at least guide you through the process while you're getting your sea legs.
Oh, wow.
And there's no one on this program that does what you're doing.
Oh, wow.
And I can see us spending time listening to this.
Yeah,
I'm driving, I'm listening, because it's educational.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's the one thing, one of the key factors for creating the Business Zone was that for us as a people, we need to hear information. We don't know what we don't know. Right. And we make an assumption that people do know this information, and they really don't. So that's the purpose of the show, of our show, and all the shows, and any podcast. And that's why they're so important right now, because people are listening in their cars.
Right.
Probably the one social media that people look at and on 24/7 is YouTube.
Right. Exactly.
So it broadcasts live on YouTube, and then there's the news for most people. Facebook is the news for most people. So people, even though television, it's not going to hold your attention like that. But if you and the podcast can be visual or it can be audio, and people are listening. Dave Ramsey's and Susie Orsman, they were the beginners of podcasting.
Yes.
And they both talk about debt consolidation and getting out of debt and how to proceed. And so they became very wealthy and very successful because people need to hear. And as Gilbert said, it's a consistent continual conversation. We just can't assume that just because they heard it once, that they stored that away and they got it. You got to keep coming back and reiterating that information for people to really understand. And right now, I think it's very important for us as African American and brown people to be able to take care of our families and not start all over again. And we have to get out of that. And so there's some things that we have to do that has nothing to do with anybody else. It's just some housekeeping that we have to take care of. And we have to teach our children how to take care of. And we got to make sure that we don't leave our children in a position, we leave houses and that kind of stuff, but we didn't leave anything to preserve and take care of that. You done worked hard for this stuff. And we're just kind of going through life lackadaisically and just assuming things are going to take care of itself. So I think it would be fantastic for you to have a podcast that is every week or twice a month, whatever works for your budget, but be able to have that same conversation. And you don't even know who's listening and watching. I get people, when I go out, and I was out at the Urban League dinner the other day, and this lady ran up. She goes, "Oh, I heard your show last week." I mean, I don't know if they're listening, but evidently they are, because everywhere I go, I heard your show. What a great show. And they'll tell me verbatim, so I'll know that they did see it. It's like, wow, okay. That's awesome. So as you go along, so that would be a great thing, because that's what needs to happen. I think they were saying there are 5 steps that we need to take as a people in order to get out of the current situation that we're in. And the 5th step is controlling the media. And controlling the narrative that's being and our conversations toward us.
Absolutely.
And we have to control that.
We tell our own story. Don't let them tell your story for you.
We have to narrate our own stories and the information that we're receiving.
Yes.
Well, Ingrid, we really want to thank you for being on the Business Zone. Unfortunately, the time ran out. I know. Well, we're going to have you back.
Thank you.
So that you can share some more of this great information with us.
So tell us how they can reach you.
Yes.
They can. Hello. Hi.
Tell them how they can
well, my name is Ingrid Ellis, and you can reach me at. You can email me at Ellis, ELLIS at Primerica, PRIMERICA.com. That's Ellis at PRIMERICA.com. And you can also call me or
social media.
Yeah, social media is good too.
Can they find you on LinkedIn, Instagram?
Ingrid M. Ellis on LinkedIn and Ingrid M. Ellis on Twitter at Ingrid M. Ellis.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
One other thing, we're going to be at the KJLH Women's Health Expo tomorrow as well.
Great.
Yeah, so we're going to have a booth there. So come visit us, and we're going to be in booth 530.
Okay, well, fantastic. So you guys, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And the next time we have you, we're going to have you in your author life.
Yeah.
Especially after you finish your book on your son.
Absolutely.
I think that would be phenomenal.
That would be great.
Just recently, and we'll wrap up, but Steve Harvey's son, not Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley has a podcast or a radio show.
I see
and
it,
his son is autistic. He's Spectrum.
Okay.
And so him and some friends have created a dating site, because they're adults.
Holy mackerel.
For those that are autistic.
Holy mackerel.
So that was just kind of interesting.
I wish he was in here to see that.
So they've created so that they can mingle as well when they're old enough to do so.
They need companionship too.
And then they both understand each other.
Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you very much, Ingrid.
Thank you for having me.
And you've been watching Ingrid Ellis here on the Business Zone, and this is phenomenal. We're going to have her back again at another time in the near future. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick break and bring in our next guest on the program. Today we got a powerhouse list of guests. So you're listening to
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic, and our very special guest,
Ingrid Ellis.
All right, take a break.
All right.
Small businesses spend more than $500 million each year combined trying to find missing or replace missing paperwork. Hey, small businesses, are you tired of losing out on business opportunities because your paperwork is not in order? And don't you hate having to register in multiple websites just to find a single procurement opportunity that may not even be worth your time? Well, worry no more. Small Biz Pro is the solution to your problems. Small Biz Pro is an all-in-one cloud-based business management, compliance, and procurement assistance software platform that keeps small businesses organized, contract-ready, bank loan-ready, with quick access to procurement opportunities, as well as market research data. Here are some of the features and benefits that you receive when you use Small Biz Pro to run your business daily. Superior record keeping at your fingertips. Back office management and compliance. Quick access to bids and procurement opportunities in government databases. It allows you to conduct easy market research and gather industry statistics. Government certification preparedness and compliance checklists. Easy HR and general operations management functionality. Bank loan readiness preparation and cash flow management. Certified payroll and labor compliance reporting. Business dictionary with defined business terms. A cloud-based business management platform that keeps small businesses organized and ready. Even nonprofits. Business documents securely stored in the cloud. Data fully encrypted and protected by triple firewall reinforcements. On-the-spot document retrieval for quick decision-making. Bank-level data security for compliance. Document expiration alerts and advanced notifications. It uses security restrictions to block out unauthorized users. And much more. Try it out today for only $5 for the first 30 days. What are you waiting for? Go to www.smallbizpro.net and register now, or your competitors will. Small Biz Pro, keeping small businesses organized, business ready, and contract ready.
With the Business Zone with Christo
and Gilbert Buchanan,
and we've had some great women.
Amazing.
So now we're gonna round this up with another amazing young lady
woman.
Here. As I said earlier today, the theme was taking care of our people and our assets, and so she's gonna round this up with how we should do that. We talked to Ingrid about the insurance piece, but there's another piece that's very important as well.
That's right.
That having someone on your behalf, an advocate on your behalf, to make sure that everything is done the way it's supposed to be done, right? And so this is Miss Treneatra Muhammad. She also, in addition to being a conservator, fiduciary, professional, she provides for professional fiduciary services. She's also a real estate broker.
That is correct.
Right. So she, in 1990, she began as a real estate sales and service firm before becoming a real estate brokerage in 1998. And as a real estate brokerage, she engaged in community services and education as it relates to real estate. She worked with sellers interested in trading their current properties for reinvestment purposes, or buyers looking to acquire first-time property, or experienced investors interested in market trends for income. She served on the commission of the Community Development Commission of Los Angeles County for 3 years, and the commission chair from in April of 2004 and 5. She contracted with the city of Los Angeles at the LA World Airport's LAWA expansion project in 2004 and 6, and as an acquisition broker. And she was instructor at Anthony Professional Schools, helping teach students learn in real estate principles and finance for purpose of preparing for real estate license exam. And in 2008, she was called to duty by the Los Angeles Superior Court Probate Division as a conservator and a professional fiduciary and trustee. As a conservator, professional fiduciary trustee, she developed the knowledge and the skills to successfully manage the lives of those who were incapacitated in one reason or another. She they licensed in California and nationally nationally certified to work in any and all states of our union. So with that, we want to welcome Ms. Treneatra Muhammad.
Oh, thank you so much. And
welcome to the Business Zone.
Thank you so much. I want to first give thanks to our Father to let everyone who's listening know that we are family.
Yes, we are.
Yes, ma'am.
Definitely.
So real estate first, and then I'm sure real estate made it necessary to understand why conservatorship was necessary.
Well, no, actually, there was a real estate attorney that said, hey, I think I have something for you that you may like. And I was like, oh, okay. He said, somebody has a property, and I'm thinking I could sell the property. And it was actually a person who was incapacitated. So incapacity means that you've lost the ability to care for yourself. So this was in 2008. We went to court, and I'm still thinking, hey, I'm going to, make some money selling these properties. And the judge said, hey, if you don't take this conservatorship, we're going to put this lady in a home. I looked at her. She looked like she was in her late 80s. So I was like, okay. And I got into it like that. The licensing is very new. The licensing is as of 2009, so I got in 2008.
Okay.
What a fiduciary does, many people think that they kind of lump a fiduciary with the fiduciary responsibility. While we have the fiduciary responsibility, a fiduciary is specific. We manage the estates, trust, and conservatorships of those who have become incapacitated. That's one of the things that we do. The conservatorships are specifically for those who are incapacitated. The trust management can be a person who's incapacitated, or we can be put on the trust for a person who may not have family, which I do. I'm named as the trustee, so if something happens to them, I step in and I manage those assets. As far as the estate is concerned, usually estates are in the probate court. Those are estates that have not been protected. There is no trust in place, and those assets have to be managed.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, because when your mom was sick and my uncle is sick, and I'm his voice, and one of the things I find with older people, whether they have all their faculties or not. People assume after they get to a certain age that they don't have their capacity, and then they just start making decisions for them as opposed to whether they're for their benefit or not.
Well, unfortunately, when you're in the probate court, we have to step into that person's life and manage that person's life. I don't know the person whose life I'm managing. So I step into their life and I take a look at them and I say, oh, okay, to the best of my ability, this is what they should have for breakfast. This is what they should take, for lunch. This is the time they should get up. So the reason I wanted to come here and talk so much is because there's so many of us at the probate courts. And it's so sad to see our people down there because they haven't prepared properly with the proper trust. And those that have, they've been neglected. And so we get adult protective services involved, and that property ends up at the probate court being eaten up by other people. And I thought it was sad. So I wanted to do something about it. Last year I started doing seminars, and we talked about, both of the women before me, they were so beautiful, they talked about giving back. Both of them, I think college, one of them talks to college students. I talk to seniors.
That's a good one.
At senior centers, because that's who the senior population is so big and they're active. It's growing. So I've been doing seminars for a year, but I found out that a seminar is not good enough. We talked about education, but action is so much more important.
Yes.
So we developed a workshop. And in that workshop, we go through all of the things that a person likes and that they don't like, and where they would like to see themselves in the case of incapacity. It's all about incapacity. So many people are becoming incapacitated with dementia and other different type of ailments. And other people are speaking for them. This way you will speak for yourself. So we created our own document. It's called the Advanced Personal Care Directive. In that workshop, we talk about conservatorships. We talk about the functions of conservatorship. We talk about the people who have been conserved, but the protections, that's the main thing we focus on. And we get their brain flowing. So we have a whole interactive workshop where they start working on things right there. We give quizzes, and then the final product is a completed Advanced Personal Care Directive that is notarized, that can become a part of their estate plan. Many of them don't have an Advanced Health Care Directive. They don't have any protections in place. So if we can get them started and get them going, then we can follow up with the next step, the Advanced Health Care Directive, a will, and then eventually insurance and a trust. So that's where we're going, and that's why I'm so excited about it.
So if someone has a stroke and they can't speak, how does that work? You speak on behalf of them, or how does it?
If they end up at the probate court and I'm their conservator, yes, I will speak on behalf of them.
Right.
And that's why Crystal used the word advocate.
Yes.
We are advocates for them. However, if you think about that, why would you want somebody else to speak for you, especially someone that you don't know?
Right.
And that's what happens.
Yeah.
I may do the best I can.
But you're giving now an opportunity for them to do this in advance.
That is correct. And it's so beautiful because people are opening up to that. They're thinking about incapacity. And I would like everybody to think about it, not just seniors. But right now, that's my focus because that's who I see at the probate court.
Yeah.
And it actually, that makes sense because if you're not married and there is no significant other, and if you're not married to that significant other, there's no saying that person's going to stay in place even if there is one, right? Because marriage kind of binds you to that.
Yes.
And you don't have any family, then no one's speaking for you.
Right.
That is correct.
I fight for my uncle, and so now I'm teaching my sister how to do that, to be me. Because you can't be going in there timid now. As I was just having that conversation with her today. No timidness. You got to go in ferocious because then they know you're serious, and you got to be able to know exactly what the needs are. I fought for my mother for that very reason. So now I got to make sure I have some people in place to speak for me.
That is correct. But it would be better if you could speak for yourself.
Right.
So my thought is you're speaking beyond incapacity. So the document is already there.
Right.
All I have to do now is look at the document. Oh, this is what she did in the morning. Okay, she did not eat breakfast. She just liked tea, and a specific type of tea. She loved going to the park in the spring. Those type of things. You're painting a picture of your life and how you would like to see it, because whoever it is, you may think they know you. Come in and say, well, I think Crystal's going to like this.
Right, and that might not be the case.
I think she's going to like this type of movie. I'm going to take her to the movies tonight. And you sitting there, can't speak for yourself and very unhappy. So I think it's so important for us to have the idea and the mindset that I would like to speak for myself beyond capacity. And let me just piggyback on the trust for a minute, because most people say, well, let me have a trust, let me get a trust. It's a way to speak beyond capacity or beyond death. You're still managing your own assets. Most people pass those assets on to their children, and what do we see? They're selling them off. You should never pass an asset on without a requirement. This is how I want to see this asset spent. This is how this asset should be used. I don't want it sold. I want it to stay in our family. That's the only way we're going to build wealth. Everybody's talking about wealth building, but how are you going to do that without specific directives? You can say, okay, you can get insurance and have wealth, but you have to speak for yourself. You have to speak as a wealth builder and a wealth maintainer. If we're selling everything that we've gotten, then how are we going to
And it was actually, Treneatra and I were at with the Coalition of Black Women about a couple weeks ago.
That's right.
And they had Systenomics. It was a full day seminar, and one of the members, Huda, actually had shown a video where
she's listening. Hi, Huda.
Hi, Huda.
Yes, ma'am.
Where the Vanderbilts and the Rothschilds.
That's right.
And it was just very impressive. And I've actually used that a couple of times in the last couple of weeks. So the Vanderbilts left their money in a trust to be divided amongst his children, his heirs. Right. So he had $105 million at his death, and he left, his will indicated that $1 million was to go to $1.4 million was to go to Vanderbilt University, which is now Vanderbilt. It wasn't at that time. And then the balance of the $104 million was to go $1 million to the school and $104 million to go to his family and to be divided amongst the heirs. So today, his estate did not grow because they all whoever kept their money and did whatever. A lot of them didn't. Right. It didn't grow, right?
That's right.
Whereas the Rothschilds, what he did was he set up a trust with instructions that he set up a bank. So all of his heirs from there to eternity could borrow money from the bank with no interest, but they had to repay the money back to the bank. Right. And if they squandered the money, then they were eliminated from the bank.
That is correct.
So his estate is still, the principal is still as it was when he died.
That's amazing.
So he left specific instructions as to how he wanted his estate to be, and it made sense, right?
And that's what you do. You leave instructions for your family, for your children, for how you want to see their lives. You create that plan. Most of us, we say, okay, I have a trust and I'm just going to leave this to my beneficiaries.
Right.
With no instructions, no directions. They've never actually gone through any classes, and so that's how we in our community right now are losing.
Right, because we're not.
We are losing.
If we leave our houses to our children, we're not saying I don't want the house sold.
That is correct.
And left money to pay for the property taxes so that they don't lose the home. So they worked hard for their property. And then it goes to the wayside if you haven't educated the child or your heirs as to how you want your monies to be distributed. And even as your business, they'll go off and sell your business. You didn't work hard, and it may be something that's very beneficial in your industry and in the community.
Yeah.
But if they're not their interest, then you've left nobody in place to maintain that, to keep it going on even after your legacy, even after you're gone.
And I think that's how we should look at our hard-earned assets. We should look at it that we are going to control them beyond capacity and beyond death.
Yeah.
I'm still going to be in control of how I want to see my life going forward, to build wealth for my family. Everything I work for, we're going to keep, and the only way you can do anything is if you're going to add to it. We're not going to deplete it, and then, as the insurance lady was saying before, we have to start all over.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to get out of that place where we're starting all over.
That is correct.
And we're not leaving any legacies. Look at all our wealth, individuals that created massive wealth, and if they didn't prepare for it after death to keep that legacy going on. And that happens in our community all the time. Our legacies die.
Yeah.
The minute the person dies, the legacy is
still.
gone.
Right, and they buy a new car, they're driving a car, they're not even reinvesting in anything because there's no instructions or directions on how that legacy should live on.
Right,
And they're not thinking clearly. So education is important, but specific direct instructions to our people, that has to happen.
Wow.
Yes, and that's what we do in the workshops.
And the directive, a personal directive, is really good. My mom, I did the directive, but in that it was a personal why she was alive, exactly, and then what she wanted to happen. So it really was an easy transition for what type of care she wanted. Where she wanted to die.
And she did that herself.
She did that herself,
right.
And then she related to me, and I lived it to the letter for her, how she wanted everything to go. And it went exactly as that was my guideline. And so if anybody was coming at me a different way, nope. She said this is what she wanted, and I am living up to this every word. And so it was much easier for me to make that, to make sure her wishes were fulfilled even after her death, and she could speak. And she was ill. She had cancer for 5 years, so I took care of her for that 5-year period, and everything that was done for her was done based upon her instructions.
Right.
See, now that's beautiful. You rarely see that because usually it's the other way around.
And then again, it has a lot to do with Crystal's background too, because she was in finance, she was in all of these different things, so that helps to prepare her. Now, there are some families that they don't have that kind of background.
Yeah, they don't have that.
So they're not even thinking that way, So we need to educate them, the awareness, and I think you would be a great person to do that as well.
And I think the biggest issue with our whole entire community or our people is education. We don't know what we don't know.
You know what I think of our community as? It's like, it's almost brand new.
Yeah.
It's brand new. And we haven't even begun, because if our money comes into our community and goes out within 6 hours, and the mindset of our people are sort of slowly turning and changing, then we have a whole new frontier of business within ourselves, within each other. That's the beautiful thing about this. This thing is going to turn around for us, because we're going to turn to each other like we're doing right here on your beautiful radio show. I'm so proud to be here because it's Black owned and operated. I can say what I feel and what I want to say about our people who I love.
Exactly.
And so this is going to be so great. We're in a new frontier.
Right.
With
we
each
are.
other.
Yes.
And once our money starts circulating 6, 7, 20, 40, 100, oh my goodness, we are serious people now.
Yes,
and I always say, even though it's been a very painful 3 years with the man in the White House, but I will say this, that he has woke us up.
That's right.
Because people are now realizing there is no facade
that
somebody's coming to save us.
That's
I
right.
think we know that, and because they pull back the covers and let you know that racism was alive and well.
Always.
It never stopped.
Ever.
And now we are no longer, there's still some but majority of us are getting the awareness that, wait a minute, this is alive. And it doesn't matter how much money I have,
That's
or
right.
who I am, it's always there. In fact, I think it really hit home this past week. Oprah walked out of a meeting with, who was she doing? 60 Minutes? She walked off of 60 Minutes.
What happened?
Because she was saying they were trying to change who she was and her narrative and how she spoke, and they told her that she wasn't being humble enough even when she spoke her own name. So
she wasn't being humble enough?
She was not humble enough even when she was speaking her own name. They wanted softer.
Please.
So she walked off, and then Beyonce walked out of a Reebok meeting. So,
right. I think we're getting it. And the media, our friends, Ice Cube and Magic Johnson and a couple of others got together and tried to pull their resources to buy media for us.
Oh, see, that's what we need.
But you saw how they blocked them, and they're not allowing that. But who are they?
Yeah.
No, we have no bosses except for God. He's the only one we should fear.
Right.
We have no fear, and that's why I said we're a new frontier.
We're a new frontier, and we have to be able to push past.
Oh, we can push past. That's the beautiful thing we're in now.
Well, it's always good when they block us from things, because then
that makes you more.
It makes us
really? That's that what you're gonna do?
Great thing. You see what I mean?
Right.
That's what's been happening, even with TV One, isn't
right?
That?
And actually, yes, Kathy Hughes, but also, that was really what Bill Cosby was doing, was to go after Channel 4, NBC, but he was by himself.
That's
and even though he came back, the first time he had investors, and then they did what they did to his son, which it was very obvious what went down. And then this time they used the same, different technique, and they went after him. But he had his own money this time. He had no other investors. But but the piece is, and they also made it that the black community stepped back from him when they were really pushing that he. And all he was really saying was, we have the same conversation we're having right now.
That
we have to do our work. Right. And so they made it appear like he was against the black people, and he was making us feel inferior to him. Yeah. So that made us step back from him. Yeah. And when they did that, he was out there in an island by himself. So I was glad that LL Cool J and Ice Cube and Magic's actually stepped down from the Lakers to make that happen. So we know that is going to happen, because he didn't step down there for no reason at all. So they're going to find another route. Yeah. But media is the most important piece to this puzzle.
That's what's missing right now.
I'm so happy you said that.
Oh,
and we learned that they actually banned the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I mean, the audacity, but anyways.
You mean on all the media outlets?
Facebook.
Off of Facebook, Instagram.
Really?
So he still has access. But I say that's fine. Why? Because, and I've been saying this all week long, even before that happened, we need our own social media.
Yeah.
It's in the air. That's why I said we're a new frontier. We're all thinking the same. When I came in, I heard the conversation. We need our own everything. You hear that, everybody? We need our own everything.
Because we gotta take care of us.
That's what we're going to do.
And not to say that we're going to be completely segregated, but right now we need to be.
But, like you're saying, we need a new frontier. We've got this world available to us. We got all the African continent, which is bigger than what the U.S. has now. You see what I'm saying? So even if we're doing business just there, we're much, much better off.
And we need to go there so we can get other countries that are coming in as predators there.
That's right.
And with their technology, we are definitely in some cases much more advanced than they are. Yeah. So we need to take our needs and all our expertise and go there.
And they're waiting for it.
And
when I came in, you were talking about the Queen who once said, Ghana, we can come back.
Yes.
I mean, they're looking for us. I know we got off of what I did, but This is so important.
It's all intertwined.
This is a new frontier for us. This is wonderful. I'm so happy about this conversation.
I didn't even see that it was. I didn't even see that.
Right, exactly. But we're going to have a conversation on doing business and why it's so important.
Yes.
We are wide open.
You're right.
This is a brand new frontier for us. There's no more get that out of your head, in and out. 6 hours. Oh my God, that's so embarrassing.
Yes,
no, let's circulate those black dollars, people.
Right. And let's use our expertise and reach out to other continents.
That's right.
I mean, in fact, the world is predominantly brown and black anyway. Go to all of those places and do business with them.
Yes.
Because I will guarantee you, when we take our trillions of dollars from here, we got their attention now.
That's right. Or even if we just start circulating it with each other, we have the attention.
Right.
We love each other, people. We do. Black people, we love each other.
And that's what our platform. So we are done with our 2 hours for the day. Great way to end the show. Thank you so much, Treneatra.
Thank you so much.
It's been an awesome show. And
it has been.
It's about the power of us, the
power.
skills we have, and be able to think outside of the box and pivot. And block us. That's what we want you to do.
Yeah, go ahead and block us.
We'll come up with new ways.
Because we will barrel up under.
We're like water. We always find a way.
Over, around, upside down, inside out. We'll become consternation, and then we'll sink right back on in. Just keep doing that.
That's right. We are, after all, the original people.
Right?
The original people.
So that's what we will. That's exactly it. So it's been a great show.
Yes, it has.
And we're into month of May. Let's make it a powerful month. Let's continue to move forward. Let's take care of ourselves, guys. There have been so many people that have left left the earthly world and moved on and transitioned, but a lot of they didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Take care of our health, take care of our assets, take care of our families, and by all means, take care of yourself.
That's
right. For sure.
Okay.
Thank you all for tuning into the Business Zone. This has been great. Business Zone is every Friday from 3 to 5, and it's on morrismedialive.com. Our special guest today, Miss Treneatra Muhammad.
That's right.
Really enjoyed her. She had some great things to say about trust and wills and how we need to start paying attention to that for our families. So, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Can I give my email
Sure,
address?
Sure.
Email me at tmuhammadestates. That's TMUHAMMAD estates @gmail.com. And we will get this thing going.
Excellent.
All righty.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. It's good to see you, co-host.
Same here, co-host.
See you next week, same time.
Next week, same time, same channel.
Same back channel. And we will see you guys. Have a fantastic week. We wish you the best. Make sure you go tomorrow to celebrate the president of Barack Obama Boulevard, which was formerly
Rodeo.
Rodeo. That's a different place.
It was rodeo. We're out.
Love you.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman.